Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Camaro at a rank higher than most people tune it to. So my tuning is 5504, and in the Pro Kits, my tuning is 5255. This gets me to a rank of 1644. Now for our first race in the Camaro, and in my opinion, this is one of the most satisfying races I've ever played. You will see why in a little bit. So, the Camaro starts up very slowly, even with maxed out acceleration such that you cannot actually accelerate faster than that. And that's why I ended up maxing the acceleration, because it was even worse without it, and every single car pretty much could knock me down at the beginning. And getting knocked down in a slow accelerating car at this rank is really bad. So I figured it would be a great idea to max the acceleration so as to have as high of a chance as possible to not get knocked down at the beginning. So I have now caught up to that MP48. Now the car catching up to me is a Vulcan, which is kind of strange because my car can go 312 miles per hour, 5 miles per hour faster than most Vulcans at this rank. But then, Camaro SS! A great way to knock down cars in multiplayer that are faster than you is to land on top of them. Unfortunately, situations like that do not usually present themselves, so I got kinda lucky right there. So we never caught up and boom! First place against a Vulcan. And not just any Vulcan, a 1747. That is a Max Pro Vulcan, except that it does not have the 5 handling upgrades. So it has the speed and acceleration of a Max Pro one. Wow. Now for the next race, on a slightly less Camaro-friendly track, which is the Great Wall, against a Homage. Now even with the Camaro's maxed acceleration, the Homage still starts up slightly faster without maxed acceleration. Generally, the Homage has everything slightly better than the Camaro at this rank, except for nitro efficiency. But if you can take turns better than them, you can pass them. So yeah, like what just happened right there. So I made a video not too long ago about the Camaro at a rank of 1486. Now, in my opinion, that rank around 1480-ish is the best rank for the Camaro. It gives the highest win percentage and has about the best speed to rank ratio. But I wanted to show you guys that maybe have overtuned your Camaro, or maybe are thinking about upgrading it for some reason. It's not terrible, even at this rank. Yes, it may be more of a struggle in a lot of races, and you may not win quite as often, but it's not bad. So to those of you who have tuned the Camaro to 1600 or above, as long as you have tuned it pretty well, you've not completely wasted the car, so don't worry about that. And we have now finished, and we beat a Homage in a Camaro at a rank above 1600. He was a 1626 one with a tuning kit and an extra tank, but no nitro starter. An extra tank is not very useful without a nitro starter. Now for a battle against another Camaro, which does not actually happen too often at this rank because most of them stay below 1500. It is to great advantage if you're in the Camaro to be put in the back, and unfortunately there's no way you can put your position first or last or anyway. But yeah, you saw that Camaro back there got knocked down, and I didn't because I was in the back and he wasn't. Just thought I'd point that out. So Azure Coast is another one of the best tracks for the Camaro, along with Barcelona and Tokyo. It has many nice long straight places. The turns are not very sharp aside from those 3 S-curves, which are coming up very shortly. Now, since I have no handling upgrades, even if I do the drift punch method, they're still kind of hard to get around. As you can see, I flew up into the air on Azure Coast. That doesn't usually happen except in the Falcon F7. The first one is the worst though. This last one is not too bad. So that car directly ahead of me is an MP425, and the one directly behind me is the other Camaro. I'm fairly certain that he upgraded handling because he was able to catch up to me around those S-curves. The reason I did not upgrade handling is because it does not help with my speed any for number 1, and does not help with the start any with getting knocked down number 2. But acceleration helps you get around turns quicker because you can speed up faster after you go around them, and helps you not get knocked down at the beginning. So handling, in my opinion, is the least important trait of a multiplayer car, because if you can learn how to get around the corners well, you can go the same speed and have the same acceleration at a much lower rank. And I've now passed the MP425. But of course, that's just my opinion. People will disagree. Some people think handling is very important. I personally don't think it is all that much. While it is nice, it's not entirely needed. Like the SLK, for example, is extremely overpowered, even though its drifting radius is one of the worst in the game, at least as bad as the Camaro, I would say. But its extreme top speed more than makes up for it. Same in the Camaro. Another reason I would not recommend upgrading handling in this car is because your rank will go way up. Even though he just passed me because of his better handling, you'll see at the end of the race that he had a much higher rank, and he is actually not doing all that much better than I am. And he risks facing much higher cars, which I do not want. And since he slowed me down so much when he knocked me to the side, that MP425 is now catching up. That's kind of unusual. So as you can see from this race, the Camaro is still a very powerful car at this rank. 2 Camaros beating an MP425. And sure, MP425s aren't all that fast, but people usually only consider Hommages and Vulcans being able to beat them reliably. That other Camaro was higher ranked than me, but we both beat those 2 MP425s. Now for the next race, which is on Impanema Showdown against another Camaro, which is, again, surprising, because it's very rare at this rank to find 2 Camaros in one race. If any, you'll usually see only 1 Camaro in a race at this rank. And yes, I still have the American flag decal that I had in the previous video. I really like it on this car. The 2 cars ahead of me right now are a Vulcan and an MP48. Now, I am slowly catching up to the MP48. Actually, it's quite fast, not too slowly at all. But that Vulcan is just really fast. The thing is, at this rank, even though the Camaro has better speed than most Vulcans, they will still usually be able to get ahead because of their much better acceleration. And unless you've got a long track with not many twists and turns on 2 laps or more, I guess, only then will you have much of a chance of beating them. So, come in second against that Vulcan, but I did beat that other Camaro, which was a higher rank of 1677, and a triple boosted Prod MP48. I'm not going to say max Prod on an F1 car again. And speaking of MP48s, in this race I come up against 3 of them, and compared to this car, they really do start off like rockets. They're at their full speed before I even reach 100 miles per hour, I think. But even though Nevada does have a lot of curves and twists and turns and stuff, it also has a lot of straight places, which are allowing me to catch up to these MP48s. I'm actually faster than a Max Prod MP48 in this Camaro when I am drifting to regain nitro. Even at this rank, yes, I know I said it in the previous video that it was at a lower rank that happens to. Even at this rank, that still holds true. Now, on tight turns like this one, it's best to drift early so as you will be less likely to hit the wall and lose as much speed. And just like that, I have passed all the MP48s. Now we are coming up to the determining factor in the track, really. These very sharp turns. Now, a lot of people say that going left is better for cars that have bad acceleration and bad drifting as well, like the Camaro, for example. But I have yet to practice that, so I just go right because I know it fairly well, and I can get around the turns okay, even with this car. As you can see here, drift punching is a great way to do it and not hit the side as much. So we have beat all 3 of those MP48s, and let's see what their ranks were. So there were 2 Max Prod ones and an almost Max Prod one. And this is interesting because 3 single tank people beat a triple boosted one. That's interesting. Now for a race on Barcelona Reverse involving 2 Vulcans. Even the Ferrari Berlinetta up there, I think that's what it is, starts up faster than the Camaro. I'm really wondering how many cars are there in the game that actually speed up slower than the Camaro with completely maxed acceleration. I'm really not sure. So in cars that drift badly, it is best to go wide here so as to pick up the nitros here, even though that guy stole them, and so you don't hit the side there going around that corner as you would if you had gone on the inside. Now I'm not sure if you can tell because it's really slowly, but I'm catching up to those Vulcans up there. Very, very gradually, but because of my slight speed advantage of 5 miles per hour or so, since I can reach 312, and most of them can only reach around 307, 308 at this rank. It's maybe more like 3 or 4 miles per hour, but it's still not very much, but it's enough so that I've already been able to pass one. But then because of my bad drifting, he passes me again. As I said earlier in the video, Barcelona is one of the best tracks for this car. Reverse and forward are both very good. And somehow I'm already catching up to that second Vulcan again. He may have maxed acceleration instead of doing more speed things, which I wouldn't recommend. Now, on my Vulcan, I did do 2 on acceleration, so I can get ahead of ones that haven't done anything. But maxing acceleration in the Vulcan, I don't think is a really good idea, because it doesn't start up slowly like the Camaro does, for example. And you already start up faster than Hommages and stuff, so it's really not all that important to upgrade acceleration much in the Vulcan. And I have passed him again, and I decided to go on the beach this time. Don't know why. Sometimes I take different routes in different laps of multiplayer, I guess just to give a bit of variety. And even around those corners, I still managed to keep ahead of him, so we have come in second. We have lost to one Vulcan, but we have beat another one. He was a 1730, and he wasn't going as fast as Vulcans usually do when they're at that high of a rank. That's why I'm guessing he probably upgraded acceleration and handling quite a bit. So now for a race on Alps, in which you will see that even if Gameloft throws a whole bunch of bugs and glitches and knockdowns and all that stuff at you, with a fast enough car, you can still catch up. I seem to have absolutely terrible luck with Alps Reverse. Yeah, I try to avoid playing in it just because, I don't know, there's something about Alps Reverse that always gets me, and I don't know what it is, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that can happen, even though it seems to be a rather simple track. But it gives me all sorts of problems. So, we are now in last. Yeah, last. Still last, because another glitch where I didn't knock down that car. Alps Reverse just has so many glitches, but I've now managed to pass him. So we have moved to 5th place. Now coming up on another car, we have now moved to 4th place. And you'll see these cars just kind of start dropping like flies, you might say, because I've now passed another car, which was actually a Camaro. He seemed to be going rather slow for his rank, just like that Vulcan in the previous race. So now for glitch number, I don't know, there's been a lot in this race. And things like that are really bad in a car that has bad acceleration like the Camaro. But since speed is one of the most important, if not the most important thing in the multiplayer, I will still be able to catch up to this MP48 in front of me and pass him by the end of the race. This is the power of having a car that is so much faster than the others. This only holds entirely true if you're at a lower rank below 1500, but at this rank, even here, most of the cars will be a lot slower than you. And he is down, and we are now 2 out of 6. So yes, never give up, even if you're in last place, especially if it's a 2-lap race. You may still have a chance. That car that beat me was a higher ranked, triple boosted MP425, and we also beat a homage that disconnected early in the race for reasons unknown. And as in my previous Camaro video, I have not been running extra tanks for any of these races because I want to show just how powerful it can be without it. Extra tanks are really not needed in this car. Now for the final race, again on Barcelona Reverse. And again against 2 Vulcans. No, I did not just reuse the same race clip. This is a different race with 2 Vulcans on Barcelona Reverse. So I will use this time in this final race to give my thoughts on this car. It is a very good car. For anyone who doesn't have it, you should get it. It is one of the best cars to use in multiplayer. It is best below 1500 rank, however. You can tune it to this rank, but pretty much the higher you tune it after you get to 1500, the less and less often you will be able to get first because of the more and more Vulcans, more and more skilled drivers, and your speed doesn't really go up all that much for the ranks you go up. So yes, I'd recommend leaving it at a rank below 1500 at a tuning of either 0502 5050 or 0500 5055. I had a slightly different Camaro tune around that rank. Check out the other Camaro video if you would like to see that. Link for it will be in the description. Also, this video has been a little longer than most of the Asphalt 8 videos I make. Do you guys enjoy these longer videos around 15 minutes, or would you rather see them stay around 10? Let me know in the comments, because I don't want to make them too long, nor too short. So, we've beat 2 Vulcans in this race, the same 1731 from earlier and a 1668 one. Thank you everyone for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and found tips in it to be helpful, and please consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 videos, and I will see you later. Goodbye.